You know that feeling? When you're really trying to focus on something important, but your mind just feels like it's buzzing, a million thoughts bouncing around.
Oh, absolutely. Like having way too many tabs open in your head and you can't figure out which one is playing the music.
Exactly. It's a real struggle, especially these days with everything vying for our attention.
It really is. We're just swimming in this constant stream of information. And, well, finding that genuine focus feels almost like a superpower now.
Yeah, it does. But imagine if you could, gently guide your attention back to the present moment, to really be where you are without getting totally swept away by all that mental clutter.
Well, that's basically the promise of mindfulness.
Right. And it's not some like vague mystical thing. It's more like a toolkit, really. Practical techniques to help cultivate that presence.
And that's precisely what we're diving into today. Our goal, our mission, if you like, is to unpack some really actionable mindfulness techniques. Stuff you can actually use to sharpen your focus, maybe boost your productivity, and just, well, engage more deeply with everything around you.
We're basing this on a really insightful article from DigyKeys, which lays out a great path for using mindfulness specifically for focus and presence.
Yeah, it's a solid piece. So we'll look at what mindfulness really is in this context, then we'll get into some practical techniques you can try, like right away.
And how to weave those into your day-to-day life, because consistency is important.
Crucial. We'll also touch on some common roadblocks, the challenges people face, and the bigger picture of the impact on overall well-being.
Plus, we'll point you towards some useful resources at the end if you want to explore this stuff further. Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. What exactly is mindfulness?
Okay, so at its core, mindfulness is about intentionally bringing your awareness, your attention, to the present moment. And this is key, doing it without judgment.
Without judgment, okay.
It's about fully immersing yourself in whatever's happening right here, right now. And you can see how relevant that is today, right? With all the digital noise, the multitasking pressure.
It feels like an antidote, almost.
It kind of is. It offers a way to reclaim some mental clarity. By grounding ourselves in the present, mindfulness helps ease that cognitive overload, that feeling of being pulled in too many directions.
The article mentions just focusing on your breath, how that simple act can interrupt racing thoughts. It's like hitting a little reset button.
That's a perfect way to put it, a reset button. It connects to this idea of selective attention, our brain's ability to filter things. Mindfulness practice helps strengthen that filter.
Interesting. And the article actually cites research suggesting that doing this consistently, well, it can genuinely boost concentration and even memory.
Yes, there's good evidence for that. Some studies show increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, that's your brain's CEO, basically, involved in decision-making, sustained attention. And it doesn't necessarily take huge amounts of time. The article notes that even, say, 10 minutes a day can make a noticeable difference in your ability to stay present during important tasks,
Right.
whether that's a work meeting or, a creative project.
And it's not just about the mental focus, is it? The article talks about emotional benefits too. Less stress, less anxiety.
Definitely. Cultivating a sense of inner calm, being better equipped to handle those emotional triggers that can so easily throw us off track.
How does that work exactly?
Well, when you're more present, you're better able to just observe your emotions as they bubble up without immediately getting swept away by them.
Oh, okay. So you see it coming, but you don't have to react instantly.
Precisely. It gives you that little bit of space to choose a more skillful response, which, naturally, helps in relationships, both personal and professional. The article even mentions entrepreneurs finding it helps them make clear decisions under pressure.
So the big picture here is that mindfulness isn't just, fluff. There's real substance behind it as a tool for reclaiming mental space, maybe getting more done, and just living with a bit more intention.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's evidence-backed.
Okay, great foundation. Now let's get practical. What are some actual techniques we can use? The article mentioned a few.
It did. Let's start with mindful breathing. Often the first thing people try, and for good reason. It's super simple, but really effective for anchoring your attention.
So how do you do it? Like, what are the steps?
Find a comfortable spot, could be sitting, could be lying down. Then just gently bring your awareness to the physical sensation of your breath.
Okay.
Maybe notice the air moving in and out of your nostrils or your chest rising and falling. You don't need to breathe differently, just observe the natural rhythm.
And what happens when your mind wanders? Because mine definitely will.
Oh, everyone's does. That's totally normal. The practice is just gently, kindly noticing it's wandered, and then guiding your focus back to the breath. over and over. That repetition is what quiets the mental chatter.
And there's research on this too, right?
Mm-hmm.
The article mentioned a study showing it helps attention and memory.
That's right, yeah. A study in behavior change. Even brief periods helped. The article suggests it's great for professionals, maybe take a minute before a big meeting to just breathe, find some calm and clarity.
Makes sense. What's next? Body scan medication. That sounds interesting.
It is. The body scan is fantastic for releasing physical tension and just really deepening that present moment awareness. You do it by systematically guiding your attention through different parts of your body.
How does that work step by step?
You usually start at your toes. Just bring your focus there. Notice any sensations, warmth, tingling, pressure, maybe nothing at all. Then you slowly move your awareness up. Feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, and so on. All the way up to the top of your head.
And the key is?
The key is just noticing. Whatever you feel, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, you just acknowledge it without judging it or needing to fix it.
The article highlights this for people who sit a lot, like digital creators maybe, helping with stress, preventing burnout by reconnecting with the body.
Exactly. It's easy to live in our heads, especially when we work online. This brings you back into your physical experience. And another powerful technique is engaging the senses. Sensory grounding.
Okay, grounding. How do we do that?
It's another quick way to pull yourself into the right now. A common method is the 5-4-3-2-1 technique.
5-4-3-2-1. Tell me more.
You intentionally identify 5 things you can see around you. Just look and name them, even silently. Then 4 things you can physically feel, maybe your feet on the floor, the chair supporting you, your clothes.
Okay.
3 distinct sounds you can hear near or far. 2 different smells you can pick up on. And finally, 1 thing you can taste. Maybe the lingering taste of coffee or just the neutral taste in your mouth.
Ah, I see. It forces your attention outward into the immediate environment.
Precisely. It pulls you out of swirling thoughts and into direct sensory experience. The article suggests this is great for professionals midday, a quick reset to fight that decision fatigue and get back on track.
These all sound pretty doable, actually. So once we've maybe practiced these a bit, how do we start integrating this mindfulness stuff more broadly, like into daily life for more sustained focus?
Great question. The article gives some excellent examples of weaving it into things you already do. Mindful eating is a big one.
Right, I've heard of that. It's more than just, like, not eating while watching TV, isn't it?
Much more. It's about bringing your full attention to the whole experience, really noticing the textures, the different tastes, the smells, and yeah, definitely minimizing distractions, phone away, TV off.
So like really savoring your breakfast instead of just wolfing it down.
Exactly. Chewing slowly, noticing the flavors develop. The article points out this can actually improve digestion, help you recognize when you're full, and just foster a healthier relationship with food overall.
Research backs this up too, helping recognize fullness signals.
Yes, there's research linking mindful eating to better awareness of satiety cues, which can lead to healthier choices. Another one is mindful walking.
Okay, so turning a simple walk into a practice.
Yeah.
Not just commuting on autopilot.
Precisely. Paying attention to the actual feeling of walking, the sensation of your feet hitting the ground, the movement in your legs and body.
How do you do it?
Just walk naturally, breathe naturally, but bring your focus to the rhythm of your steps. If you're outside, consciously notice your surroundings, the trees, the sounds, the air. It's a great mental break, especially if you sit a lot for work, and good for physical health too.
And the last one the article mentioned was mindful communication. This feels huge, especially at work.
It really is. Mindful communication means being fully present when you're talking with someone, really listening.
Active listening, right. Not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Exactly. Focusing on what they're saying, their tone, their expressions, maybe the emotions behind the words, without mentally rehearsing your reply.
The article mentioned things like not interrupting in meetings, asking questions that show you've actually heard them.
Yes. That level of presence builds trust, strengthens relationships, and cuts down on misunderstandings. Super valuable professionally, but personally too, of course.
So by consciously applying this awareness to everyday things, eating, walking, talking, they become regular mindfulness practice opportunities.
That's the idea, transforming routine moments into chances to build that muscle of presence and focus throughout your day.
Okay, but let's be real. Starting this, sticking with it.
Yeah.
It's not always a walk in the park. What are the common hurdles, and what does the article suggest for getting over them?
Yeah, challenges are definitely part of it. A huge one, no surprise, is managing distractions. They are everywhere.
Tell me about it.
The article suggests some practical steps. Creating a dedicated workspace, if possible, that's relatively clutter-free. Physically removing distracting devices helps.
Out of sight, out of mind. Hopefully. What else?
Noise-canceling headphones can be great. Or using calming background sounds. And the big one, consciously turning off non-essential notifications on your phone and computer. That constant pinging is focus killer.
It really is. The article even mentions specific apps.
Yeah, things like Forest or Freedom, which can actively block distracting websites or apps for set periods. Really useful if you work online and need that enforced boundary sometimes.
Okay, so environmental control. What about the internal detractions, the wandering mind itself?
Yes, the wandering mind. It's just what minds do. They drift.
Totally. I'll be trying to focus and suddenly I'm planning dinner or replaying a conversation.
Completely normal. The article stresses the importance of acknowledging the thought without beating yourself up about it. Just notice, thinking, gently, kindly, and then intentionally guide your attention back to your breath, back to the task. Using a simple anchor phrase like here and now, just repeating it silently can help.
Like a little mental nudge.
Exactly. Even just pausing for 3 deep breaths when you feel overwhelmed or distracted can be surprisingly effective at resetting your focus.
And the third challenge, just making it a consistent habit. Life gets busy.
It does. Consistency is key, but the article advises not making it another chore. Start small, really small, like 5 minutes a day. A simple breathing exercise, maybe a quick body scan.
Manageable chunks.
Right. Then gradually increase the time as you feel comfortable. Setting reminders can help, or linking it to something you already do every day, like meditating for 5 minutes right after your morning coffee.
Habit stacking.
Precisely. And don't underestimate accountability. Joining a mindfulness group, even online, or using an app like Headspace that has structured programs can provide that extra motivation. People who build that routine really do report better focus, less stress, clearer thinking.
So it's about self-compassion, starting small, and finding ways to weave it into your existing life rhythm.
Okay, let's zoom out again. What's the broader impact? How does mindfulness affect our overall well-being, according to the article? The article connects it to several key areas. First, a big one, reducing stress and anxiety.
How does it do that?
By anchoring you in the present, it naturally pulls you away from dwelling on past regrets or future worries, which are major fuel sources for stress and anxiety.
Makes sense. Less time travel in the mind.
Exactly. And physiologically, practices like mindful breathing or body scans can activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That's your body's rest and digest mode. It actively counteracts the stress response, lowers cortisol levels.
The article had an example, right? Someone using a quick breathing exercise before a deadline.
Yeah, to help them stay calm and handle the pressure more effectively. So stress reduction is one major benefit. Another is enhanced emotional regulation. Meaning you get better at noticing your emotions as they arrive, but without getting instantly hijacked by them. You develop more awareness around the emotion.
So you can observe it almost like a passing cloud rather than being in the storm.
That's a great analogy. It creates that crucial space between feeling an emotion and reacting to it impulsively. You can choose a more balanced, considered response.
The article mentioned entrepreneurs using this to spot their stress triggers and respond more deliberately, improving leadership.
Exactly. Better self-awareness leads to better choices, better interactions. And thirdly, the article touches on improved cognitive function.
Back to the brain power boost.
Right. Things like improved memory, better attention span, sharper decision-making. The idea is that focused meditation practices strengthen those neural pathways in the prefrontal cortex we talked about earlier.
So for someone like a digital creator working on complex stuff, this could actually help with problem solving by clearing the mental fog.
That's the thinking. Less mental clutter frees up cognitive resources. So regular practice doesn't just make you calmer, it can genuinely enhance productivity and build mental resilience over time.
It really sounds quite holistic then. Benefits for focus, stress, emotions, and even thinking ability. Okay, someone listening is thinking, all right, I want to try this, or maybe deepen their existing practice. What resources does the article recommend?
It gives a good range. For apps, it mentions popular ones like Headspace and Calm. They offer tons of guided meditations, sleep stories, stress relief exercises. Very user-friendly.
Those are pretty well known. Any others?
Yeah, it highlights Insight Timer, which has a massive library including lots of free meditations, many specifically for concentration, and also Mindfulness Coach, which sounds like it offers more personalized guidance for integrating mindfulness into daily life.
So apps are a good, accessible starting point. What about books or articles for people who like to read?
Definitely. It recommends The Miracle of Mindfulness by Thich Nhat Hanh, a classic, really practical, lots of simple exercises for everyday presence. Also, Mindfulness for Beginners by John Kabat-Zinn, who's kind of a pioneer in bringing mindfulness into the mainstream West.
Foundational stuff.
Yeah. And for ongoing tips and research, it suggests checking out Mindful Magazine. They often have actionable advice based on current studies.
And connecting with other people. Sometimes that helps keep you motivated.
Absolutely. Community is powerful. The article mentions online groups like specific Facebook groups or the mindfulness subreddit, More Mindfulness, places to share experiences, ask questions.
Makes it feel less like you're doing alone.
Yeah, for sure. It also suggests looking into workshops or courses from organizations like the Mindfulness Center or Mindful Schools if you want something more structured. And it even notes that you can often find free weekly online sessions, maybe on Zoom, which could be a great way to dip your toe in with some guidance.
Wow, okay, so there's really a resource for pretty much every learning style and commitment level, from quick apps to in-depth courses and communities. No shortage of support out there.
Exactly. The main thing is finding something that clicks for you and then, well, just doing it consistently, even if it's just a little bit each day.
Right. So wrapping this up, this deep dive into the DigyKeys article really paints mindfulness not just as a technique, but almost as a mindset shift, doesn't it? A way to navigate our pretty hectic world with a bit more focus and presence.
Definitely. We've covered some really practical tools: mindful breathing, body scans, using your senses, and how to weave these into everyday moments like eating, walking, even just listening to someone.
And crucially, acknowledging that it's not always easy, but there are strategies for dealing with distractions, dealing with that wandering mind.
And knowing that sticking with it, even imperfectly, can genuinely reduce stress, help manage emotions better, and even sharpen your thinking.
Plus, knowing there are loads of resources out there, apps, books, communities to support you on the journey.
It all adds up. Consistent practice, even small amounts, really can lead to sharper focus, better productivity, and just a deeper sense of calm and clarity. It empowers you, really, in both work and life.
Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with. Just consider, how might consistently bringing even a few moments of mindful awareness into your day subtly but surely reshape your experience of work, your experience of life? What's one small, simple activity you already do that you could choose to infuse with just a little bit more mindful attention starting today?